Hello and welcome to lovely game of Through the Ages. Today we're looking at a nice little game that I played against none other than Mr. Weidenbaum, which it's basically the only YouTube channel I know of this game. I think there's some others, but I think he's probably the biggest by far, and of course the world champion of 2024, number one two player, number four three player, um, yeah, etc. So it was a very nice, well, I want to say honor, but that's a bit too much. But it was just a very nice experience to play against such a great player, and also I do believe that these other players are also quite strong, maybe some top 20 or something, but don't quote me on that. It's pretty easy to look up, but that's fine. I know that they're strong players at least. Me, I am actually pretty new to this game. I am definitely not unfamiliar with strategy games, but this one I picked up around 1.5 months ago on my phone, and before that I have played the board game a few times with a friend of mine, like maybe like 5 times or something. And can't say I won them all either, but yeah, basically this guy, he is my friend, and I've played against him in real life. He was also my roommate, but anyway, I have had pretty massive success. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, surprisingly, because I mean, I didn't expect to win so much starting out. Um, and funnily enough, I have now the exact same win rate on two players or three players or four players. I just saw this today, just when I opened this just now, and I thought that was very funny. And of course, 81% average result. Yeah, I mean, it's very high. I got a 17 win streak already, and I only played 62 games. And yeah, this is my only account. And so yeah, uh, I thought I was playing a lot of random games, against random people. So I thought maybe it's different, of course, different experience, and I had a sort of strategy that I thought maybe it wouldn't work in higher level games. Also, I should say that I've mostly played four players, maybe like 85%, just like four players, and only a few two players, and a few more three players, but also yeah, just a handful, maybe like eight of these, and maybe like 12 of these, so that's like 20, and then maybe like yeah, like well, that would be 20, that would be already more, but yeah. Anyway, but like yeah, the majority for sure four players, and I also feel quite comfortable in four players right now. Although, so of course I'm still learning a lot. Um, but yeah, what can I say? I mean, yeah, very happy with the win rate so far. I feel like I'm just getting started. Um, but I've actually been playing some high level players on that I found on Discord, through the Age Discord, and I've been doing quite well against them as well. So at some point, it's not luck anymore, I guess. But I'm curious to see what the future will hold. And what was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I actually have not lost a game yet. I have lost actually a game in two player, but I have never been third and I've never been fourth. I've been third twice on four player, but yeah. So let's see if today I can keep that streak, or if these heavy hitters will be able to push me down till the fourth place. Um, so yeah, let's see. I'll very quickly talk a little bit about how I approach the game, uh, four-player game. For me, it's very straightforward actually, and it's like surprisingly straightforward because I've been doing it basically every game, and so far it's been working extremely well, and also against the strong players. So, but I'm definitely still looking out for like what will beat me, and yeah, definitely still uh, deepening my understanding and looking out for. But that's why it's very nice to play higher level players because then you can actually take some experience that actually is valuable instead of low level players where you can just get away with anything and anything works as long as you play some decent moves. So yeah, so far I've been happily surprised. I've played maybe like 6 games or maybe 6 or 7 games against high rated players, and it's been working so far. But I've already seen some issues sometimes, or some maybe alternative play styles that might also work, but in certain specific cases. But so far, honestly, I've still stuck to my main weapon, which I will now explain. It's very straightforward. I go for economy, economy, and economy in HA, well, in H1 and H2. I go for zero culture. I never take Bach. I never take Shakespeare. Gaudi is a little bit more flexible, I feel like. You don't really need to build so much to actually make use of him. You could take a lab and maybe you have a religion, and then you build like some uh, like some, what are they called? Uh, like some professional sport kind of thing. You don't actually need to put in culture buildings for him to do something. But these guys, you actually need to take the drama or take the opera and build the opera. And but this one is definitely a lot easier to use than this. But basically, for the first 2 ages, I don't care about culture. I only care about my civil actions and my science. Those are the main 2 things. And then, sure, iron is nice, but I actually find alchemy way nicer to play than iron. And then irrigation is not very, falls off pretty quickly, but it's nice to have it, yeah, so that you don't get stuck on your food. But of course, like breeding, there's also three versions or three in the game, so that's yeah, something you can actually pick up pretty easily in 4-player games. Um, so yeah, I don't care about culture at all. I only care about economy, but of course you need to care a little bit about military, but I also don't care about military. But of course I will keep on pace, but I will generally not push the pace unless I just have a very efficient leader like Barbarossa or something. Uh, then it's just, yeah. I mean, he's just like super strong, and that's what you do with him. So of course you push some military with it or colonization. But generally, I love to take something like Nostradamus, uh, Saladin, like sort of like things that actually are very efficient at defending, not actually. Not Saladin is not necessarily for defending, but yeah, something that is like very efficient, just does its job. Then you can use it for military. But I usually am like third position in strength. I never try. I mean, if it's convenient, I will try to go for first, but I don't go out of my way to be first at all, or to even push so much strength that other people have to try to keep up or something. Yeah. So yeah, I just try to maximize my uh, uh, my production, right? Um, so yeah, that's basically what I do. And then in H3, then I have very strong economy. Um, and I have minimal culture. I have minimal strength, so also minimal, um, yeah, minimal amount of units. But I try to take as many tier two technologies as possible because that is the main idea. I have a lot of economy, and if someone is pushing culture, then I can do a big war. I open myself up for having a military out, which is extremely common for me. I get it maybe like 75 to 80% of the games that I have some kind of war against someone. And I will always have like two, often even three of these. If you have two, you can often get like a third in an H3. But yeah, basically, you draw a tactic, you draw a war, or sometimes you use like an H2 tactic, like a classic army or something is also good enough. Maybe fortification can do, or defensive army. And then you just get big strength. You can win by like 10 points, and then you already swing for like 30 points. So I find it just be extremely efficient, and it doesn't allow you to, yeah, it doesn't really allow you to go last, like be last, because your economy is so good that you can always defend. And you're also push military a bit, so in H3, so you're not gonna get warred yourself so often, and yeah, I feel like the persons that come in last most often are the people that are actually getting warred, which are the people that I ward, for example. So I find that if you want to control your outcome of the game, you need to be strong yourself. And so I like having a good economy and getting all the H2 techs. And yeah, it's just been proven so far extremely effective. And then of course, if you don't draw the war, um, which often in like the first two turns you can see if you draw a war or not, and slowly build towards some things if you draw a tactic as well, or if you have a decent tactic from H2 or something. And then of course if you get the Air Force, and then you just immediately, yeah, I mean not even immediately, but if you have the Air Force, then you know that you're golden basically, and then you can with your production, with your economy, you can just out outproduce the opponents, and then do a big war in the end. Usually I just build up to a big war. I war someone basically the last turn that you can do it. I win with like 30, 40. I swing for 70 points against the number one because he's been going for culture, which also means that he's probably weak. Because if you are doing literally everything while like producing a lot of culture, but also producing a lot of military, well, I only focus on military and economy. I mean, I don't know what you're doing, but you're like a wizard, and you should, I guess, win the game because then you're doing everything. So I don't think you can have a big culture lead usually, and then also be strong and have a good economy. So yeah, I mean, and also if one person is strong, then maybe someone else is not, and then you can get second, right? So if you somehow the number one is and strong and has a lot of culture, then you war someone else, and then you're second place. But if you can war the first person, you can get like 40 points, 30 points. They lose 30, 40 points. That is like 60 to 80 points swing. You just kind of always uh, close the gap and win against them. And then compared to the others that were maybe not focusing on the culture as much, being a little bit stronger, so you can also not really target them. But because they didn't make so much culture, you're also not behind so much, so that extra 30, 40 culture gets you also ahead of them. And also you have a big economy, so you can also make a nice wonder in the end. You have really amazing impacts. I always have the best impacts. Like I always gain points on impacts, like sometimes even 25 points or something. So that's also a massive deal. Yeah, for players, a lot of impacts. Um, so yeah, I'm often very often like 50 behind, but I just always catch up. And then if you don't draw the war, you don't have the tactic, you don't draw any of that, then of course, or in general, you still also have to look out for peaceful solution, um, where you can take like something like a Sid Meier or like some yeah. I mean, there's a lot of culture leaders that can just sort of instantly put your production. If you put your production into not military but the culture, you can go up to like 15 culture very very quickly, and then you can catch up on the culture as well, which I find is, for me, the military is my priority, something I keep open as long as possible. But of course, you cannot commit to it if you don't have the science. But I keep it open as much as I can. And then if you don't get it, then at some point you switch to culture. But yeah, and then I find you can actually, with your big eco, you can actually get the culture lead broken, yeah, very nicely. And then okay, sometimes you don't actually win the game, but you will be second. So, and the other thing is, even if you are not the one that has the military push, maybe someone else does, right? So even if you are not able to put the military to the yeah, you cannot you don't get the military up to par. Maybe someone else does, and your good economy, you still have like decent military, but you just maybe you don't have a war, or maybe you don't have the best tactic. You will not be the one that gets warred, and the person with a lot of culture, first of all, they're ahead, and second of all, they're usually weaker, so they get warred, and so then basically they're doing what you wanted to do, but then sometimes they are first, but often there you can still be sort of like sitting on the sidelines watching the first player go burn down, and then the fourth player gets to like second. But because I have like a very strong economy, I actually pushed to first again, even though I didn't even go for the war myself. So yeah, I think it's just extremely flexible. You don't have really any weaknesses, unless you, yeah, if someone pushes for the culture and no one actually, like none of the other three players can make make use of their weakness being usually uh, low defense, and also you cannot catch up in culture. But you don't really have really any weaknesses, I find, if you go for this. So of course, like I said, definitely still learning, but that's basically the strategy. And with that, let's go to the leaders and wonders and go into the game. Yeah, in the H3, a lot of different leaders and wonders. Like pretty much anything is possible. There's some theaters, some multimedia, but also some science, and then science can work here as well. And then you even have like the oil that you can use or something. Then you have some strength. You have Gandhi, which is very important if you're going for strength, of course. And then you even have Pierre for the arenas. So it's sort of like a perfect mix, isn't it? Like I don't even know. Like can't really get more diverse than this. I feel like. Then kind of similarly here, there's something for the food. There's just a generally normal, and then this. I mean, these are just kind of like don't really interact with anything, to be honest. And there's the food, of course. And then Hollywood interacts with a few of these, and then the internet, of course, mainly with Pierre. But yeah, Hollywood with Fleming, maybe Marlene. Then tier two is a lot of, well, a lot. I mean, Suez Canal super strong, of course. There's also James Cook, Ocean Liner Service, and Maria Theresa. You know, do it like Weidenbaum. That's how he always talks. James Watt, but no, whatever it's called, that doubles your mind. Uh, then okay, there's a Bach and Shakespeare and Antoni Gaudi as culture leaders, and so I put these very low in my and how much I like them. Um, Maria Theresa, I think is very strong. I'm often pretty weak, like I said. Usually I'm like third, but I'm not. I don't. I'm just keeping. Just don't be last and try to be efficient with your economy. James Watt is the perfect economy monster, especially if you're a bit behind. So I like this guy a lot. If I can use him, then James Cook with the Suez Canal, and then Robespierre. I think it can definitely work more often than I thought at first. Getting into H2 and then even H3 are very cheap to get into a revolution. So it has its moments. Yeah, so Suez Canal, ocean liners, amazing. Harvard College, I mean, they do their thing, produce a lot of things, and this passive thing is also very strong. And then these are culture, which, like I said, I don't care about at all. So yeah, for me, this is not the best lineup because I don't really care about Bach, Shakespeare, Gaudi, Louvre, Eiffel Tower. So someone that actually likes to play with these and maybe also knows a little bit better how to use them would be more happy, would be happier with these. But it's also good to learn. Uh, I will go for it if I think it's good, but very often I see a Bach and I see like, okay, but if I want to put some stuff into this, then I'm gonna suffer with my strength, with my economy, and I'm like, I don't really have time for this thing, you know? So that's how I feel. But if I somehow do see there's time, then I can try it. And also, it's nice to see other people take it, and then I can see if they get giga punished or if they just run away with the culture and just win the game, and it's actually viable. Then H1, also a lot of different things. Genghis Khan for some strength. Nostradamus, I think you could say it helps with the strength, but he's not really a strength leader. Well, yeah, he's a strength leader. Like you get three strength basically, but a defensive strength, which I like a lot. Nostradamus is like one of my favorites for sure. Just sit behind him. You have a lot of knowledge, so you can just really. With Nostradamus, I can sit so low on the strength because if I know that there's maybe only one strength event or maybe no strength events, then I can just sit on maybe even like one warrior, go to four strength defense, and the opponents can be on like six strength, seven strength, but I can always defend, and I'm not worried about any events. So I can just put all my resources into economy and then still get 3 points per turn. I make the most out of the events that come up with taking navigation, taking producing some extra rocks if I see that there's deposits or all this nice stuff. So I think Nostradamus is just extremely nice, and then National Arc is just kind of fine. That's his thing. And I think so far I find it very hard to pick because it doesn't actually solve any of your problems, like most of these others actually do. I don't like Genghis Khan either. By the way, in tier three, I would say, I mean, I don't like Gandhi at all because I'm strong. Uh, but yeah, it's like can be annoying, but also I have never, well, don't really remember a time that I really, I try to play around Gandhi being in the game basically by getting uh, six uh, military actions, and then also if they actually feel safe, they will not put in any strength, and then they're actually easier to target. And I will even like do like a revolution for communism to actually get the military actions very late into the game, just to war them. So I think Gandhi is a little bit hard to make work against me because I actually have like my eyes lasered on them instead of them being like, oh, they're gonna be hard to war. No, I'm gonna be like, oh, they're gonna feel safe. So I'm gonna find a way to be able to war them if they're gonna be uh, if they're not gonna be safe because they feel safe and so that they're weak actually and they're not safe. And if they're not, and if they actually somehow still don't feel safe, then why do you have a Gandhi? Because now you're just producing two culture and well, uh, you're still producing military like you would do anyway, then yeah, you're not really gaining enough probably. So it's kind of hard to make work against me. I don't know. yeah, this is just a very solid leader. This is like very average, but sometimes maybe a little bit of science can help if you need it. But usually my economy is pretty good. I don't really value this very highly. Like Flaming actually is like one of the leaders that I can very much no, abuse. Well, first of all, this Flaming is like, completely insane. Like even if I don't have any multimedia or opera or whatever, just seeing the enemy, seeing if they have a tactic, if they can defend against the war, is extremely strong. And then you can also see all the you can see everything they want to do. You can just predict everything they want to do, because I mean it's not even predict, it's like you know what they want to do if they play well. And of course you play good opponents, they will play well. So you see all the impacts. So I mean you just get random points just from seeing their impacts. You get the insane amount of points just from being able to ward them without any problems, or even aggressions, right? Aggressions also. Aggressions are very hard to pull off if you don't know they have like 2 defense or 3 defense. Yeah, that's just gonna be a horrible turn if you put in a raid for 3 military actions. Anyway, Flaming is incredibly strong, also incredibly strong into culture production if you have a lot of economy like I do. Anyway, let's move on a little bit. Yeah, Coubertin, if you have some arenas, of course, extremely strong. Einstein, I think, is very flexible leader. It's basically like Marie Curie, but better, I feel like. But yeah, some of course they're a little bit different. But generally, I feel like Einstein is kind of a better Marie Curie in a way. Um, so yeah, so now I did talk about this. That's to be uh, complete. Trying to be a little bit complete. So Genovar is kind of fine. This is very strong. Saladin is very strong because yeah, and I think Gutenberg you can use also very well, but you need to pay a little bit of attention. Of course, it's nice if you have a lot of H2 leaders that you can transition into very quickly, like something like James Watt is nice to pick early. Teresa is nice to pick early. Like something like Nobel would be nice to pick early, but not so much. These maybe Cook would be okay. Um, but yeah, generally I love to take Johannes Gutenberg. I make him as in if you take him, you're very happy with him usually. It's the best place for him is if you take like some iron and you actually start building iron. And meanwhile, with Gutenberg, you take the alchemy in your hand, you develop the iron, then next turn you make 1 iron and you develop the alchemy, and then you make another, or you make some iron, like the second and the third iron, and then you make maybe one, or like maybe 1 iron and then one alchemy, and then you make the third iron. And so if you have nothing else to do but make alchemies, then Gutenberg is not very good because you just want to make two alchemies. But if you actually have something else to do, maybe irrigation, maybe iron, then he's great. Then you just use him, and you can use him every turn to just get your side project alchemy going while actually doing your plan. It is a super extremely efficient. So I do pick him up sometimes for sure. Leonardo da Vinci is super solid if you have some alchemy or printing press, but I never take printing press. Yeah, Genghis Khan is just a bit awkward. Yeah, it's not very nice to transition out of, and yeah, just kind of doesn't do enough. Makes some culture sometimes, but don't really care about culture again. For the city, I mean, I love actions, I love science, so for the city is okay. I'm happy faces. I love science, so Carolina is amazing. Um, I don't really care about these too much. I used to love the Great Wall, by the way. That's the very start, but I find it very difficult to build now. Oh yeah, that was when I never took knights. I think that's probably also a reason. I was until like my 40th game, I took like knights every like maybe 8 games or something. Like sometimes I mean, okay, I don't even play that many games, but I feel like I sometimes I look back and I'm like, how was it even possible that I won some or so many games when I don't even take knights, or like I don't even yeah, do some very stupid things, you know. So yeah, yeah, Taj Mahal doesn't do anything. No one cares about culture again. Okay, and then HA, of course. Boudica is strong. Hammurabi is strong. Confucius are strong. Aristotle is like okay. Pyramid is strong. Stonehenge is strong. I mean, yeah, science and civil actions. Yeah, I mean that's the name of the game. Like, it's not rocket science actually. And then Colossus, I think I do actually like navigation, and I like the Colossus a bit too, especially with the Suez Canal and James Cook. There's yeah, I think having colonies is very strong. If you get two extra or one extra, it makes a lot of difference. Yeah, a lot of difference. So I don't mind Colossus too much, but I'm not really sure exactly how to evaluate it. It's definitely against my usual tactic. Acropolis, I don't really care too much. The passive effect is kind of whatever, and then it's like the value is like yeah, pretty mediocre, and Colosseum kind of similar, but I like the third military action. Like, I find it hard to get monarchy going in H1. So, and then taking the other thing is also not so great. Warfare, and then it's unless you're stuck with like a freaking republic and you're really crying, and then Colosseum is really great. So I don't like Colosseum, but I don't hate it. You know, it's like secretly I am like happy to have it because I don't get stuck into this garbage to military actions. So I'm like complaining that I have it, but secretly I'm like, thank God I don't have to play with two military actions. Yeah, I don't think it's so bad in the Colosseum, honestly. Yeah, I'm always kind of, you know, whatever, you know, bad. Caesar kind of, yeah, it's not what I want to do, you know. I mean, let's just get some value. And Ashoka, I think, is actually quite strong, I feel like, if you're maybe third or fourth position. So you can actually take some more cards and also some H1 cards. So yeah, 30 minutes in and we haven't started the game. Very nice. Let's start the game. So Weidenbaum on third, or on third. I'm at fourth. These are also very strong players. Take Hammurabi, of course. Then Burikas gets taken, of course. Uh, Card, cultural heritage is fine. Then Weidenbaum, of course, takes the pyramids, like no brainer. And then I take Caesar, because I mean, there's like Confucius and stuff in the deck, but Weidenbaum doesn't have a leader, so you can just take it from me if it's yeah, if it's available. And yeah, Julius Caesar. Then I can also take some other stuff. Yeah, otherwise I would take like what I mean, what is even the option if you don't do this? Like, let's be real. And then patriotism normally is a quite bad, like really bad, but with Caesar at least has some synergy, right? So yeah, here takes that, takes the Stonehenge, I think. Yeah, Stonehenge. Makes a lot of sense with Hammurabi extra actions. Then Boudica gets played. Uh, Costs two actions to take these, so it doesn't actually take it, which is interesting. Also, because they don't take Colosseum at least, confused at that 2, so that makes it a bit awkward for Weidenbaum. Taking the 2, now upgrades, doesn't have a population. And it's my turn. Now I take Caesar, and of course Caesar with Colosseum is not a bad combination. You get extra strength, and you also push quickly, so you can maybe get some colonies. Also, the nice thing, of course, is Weidenbaum has to push because he's Confucius. And yeah, Caesar, obviously, is very much against what I usually do. So great to learn something new against the amazing players. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, Confucius, of course, very good for Caesar. And then Hammurabi, of course, also. And even maybe this, but honestly, I don't really think so, because I think if you're stronger, then okay, maybe you don't want this right away, but they will not get stronger, so it's like completely fine. And later, if you actually are starting to pull ahead with some strength, and you get 2 stone to upgrade your military. Now that's like super great, right? So yeah, I start the Colossus. Yeah, but generally Caesar, of course, it's you know, if you just think about it, like they get an action every turn. Of course, the military action, they get a science every turn. So let's say I would have an event that I steal 2 science from Weidenbaum one time. It's not an actual event in the game, of course, but let's say it is. That would be really strong event. Um, but if that's the only thing I do, his guy actually gets even because he loses 2 and he gains 2. I gain 2, so I pull ahead of Weidenbaum, but I am actually not even ahead of these guys because I mean, if these are all 3 Confucius, then I would take one down. It's basically like warring and stuff, right? Like you can take one down, but the other 2 still are producing their stuff. So even if you get like a nice something nice, like maybe some nice event or something, it's kind of hard to pull ahead of the others. I felt like with Caesar. But so yeah, you definitely kind of want to have like 2 good things happen to really get value out of it. Now I draw foray and inhabited territory, so a strength event and a colonization card. So that's already looking like can definitely get some value out of that. So iron gets taken for 3. Doesn't really have anything else to do, I guess. Um, irrigation gets taken. Takes science. And here it gets pushed. And there's a temple, so not having the population can't make the temple. So Confucius for 2, getting, well, punished, let's say. Of course, he takes the bread and circuses because he loves his Pierre. Yeah. Yeah, he just loves it so much. So I'm not surprised. Then it's my turn. I have foray and I have inhabited territory. I will seat them both. And yeah, a lot of food. And yeah, the warrior got out. And of course, we have our population, but we don't have 2 populations, so I can build either a temple or a warrior. And yeah, I don't know why. I guess I've been hit by rebellion too many times. Like rebellion just actually just kills your game instantly if you get hit by rebellion. So that's like one thing, I guess. I'm like, yeah, the happy face. I have Colossus, so I don't get happy face from that. So it's like kind of needed at some point. And maybe I want some knights with a knight tactic or something. I don't know. Like I felt like it's also this costs 3 and this costs 2. You know, it costs some military action instead of. So you know, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like just having this was a little bit better value. But that of course means that Weidenbaum, even though he didn't have a guy, a worker, now he does get a free warrior. So he ends up not being punished as much. As everyone just gets a temple. He gets to build the mine. Now Barbusha also pushes Boudica. So that's always nice to see because I want to get to the foray and all the things. What's the event? Oh, yeah, science. So no stone. I call it stone, by the way. Other people call it rock, but I just call it stone. And now 3 military cards, so still no stone, but 3 military cards very nice for Caesar, of course, because I can keep pushing and I can keep aggressing people. So that was very great to see. Also something I realized during the game that thing I usually don't really care about too much, but with Caesar it's extremely good. So yeah, I mean, can't really play around it that much, but it's good to know that that makes Caesar a bit stronger. And then I get 1 stone. So I kind of wanted to finish my Colossus. but I couldn't. So I was a little bit annoyed because I already seeded in one territory. And I think I'm seeding in the Raiders now. But yeah, I have a lot of. I have 2 more territories, and I have 2 colony cards, and I have the Colossus. So I was like, oh, okay, that seems like quite nice. Take a Swordman. Oh, that's another thing. Like if you take the Swordman and you make a Swordman in one go instead of upgrading it, it costs the same amount of military action. So that's like another reason why I don't necessarily want the Warrior. I make 2 Warriors. I know Foray is in there. I know there's also the territory which I want to bid on and then still be strong for the Foray. And I get another navigation card. I ended up keeping, yeah, I could only keep 3 cards, right? So I could lose one of the events, but I really wanted to double seed next turn. So I actually lost navigation card, even though I, of course, wanted to keep that as well. But yeah. Then someone else put in on certain boards, and I got the yellow token already insane value out of Caesar right away, basically being an Alexander the Great, but better. Oh god. Oh, okay. Oh, did I just mess it up? So yeah, getting the yellow token, that's like the best event pretty much. So I was very happy about that. Now this is my strat: Nostradamus, Stonehenge, Iron, Hammurabi, all the things that you want. Monarchy, but yeah, I had the Hammurabi and the Monarchy. I don't know, on one. Was it on one? Yeah. So could have done a thing, but would be, yeah, probably not good. But he's still on one side. I don't do this, by the way. I never do this, basically. I always make a second alchemy. And I'm like, oh, why am I spending all this stone on these things to get my Stonehenge going? I spent 3 things to get 2, but I could also just spend, or sorry, three to get 3, but I could also just spend 3 to get 3 over 3 turns. Like you're delaying this. I don't know. I don't think this is giga efficient to make one of these. Like I never like same with like library or something. I see sometimes people finish the library, but then they haven't made like their lab. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like the lab costs 3, the library costs like 6. So make your efficient thing first, and then do the inefficient thing, right? But I don't know. Maybe I'm overlooking something. Of course, if you don't have the population, but usually you do have that. And there's some other things with the blue tokens and all the things, but yeah, generally I don't do that. I always get 3-2, almost always. Even pyramids I do 3-2 because I usually believe that I get some HA extra production, I can finish it already, and then it's already better. And even if it's not, then I still have basically instead of my 1 action 1 time sooner, we get like extra production. It seems usually worth it, but now has the nice tactic and the knight, so they do get like early knights. I have very nice things going for me, but they also have some nice things going, like this yeah, they have amazing leaders, amazing wonders, and then also get the tactic and the early knight. So yeah, getting value every turn. I mean, I need to get value from playing things with Caesar. They just can just sit around and get value. So good thing is I will get value, or I already have value from the yellow token. But yeah, another knight is here, and another tactic is here. So yeah, they don't really have to do anything weird to be strong. I mean, okay, of course, would be nice to build a lab. To be honest, it's pretty costly to go to 8. But I'm still strongest for foray, so trying to push that out. Inhabited is first. I decided to actually, like, yeah, this was like a very complicated H1 with so many, like, you have double politics action. I seeded a lot of things in, but they're actually strong, and I'm trying to use my colonization, but then I also need to bid, and I have like colonization cards in my hand. I also have Colossus coming, so do I like wait on that? And it will be spoiler alerts. It will be getting even more complicated because there's also cartography in the row. Um, but yeah, I could have gone to 4. I think, was it? No, it pushes a whole military. Um, yeah, 1, 2, right? 1, 2, and 4. But if I send that away, then I will not be able to. What was the idea? Okay, I mean, I seeded in 2 more guys, right? So these things will get value later as well. 2, and I put in 4 because I was thinking. No, I put in 3. There was definitely there. I spent some time on this, and I would. I mean, basically thinking, okay, I don't really want to use both and a two swordman, like a 2 strength swordman here, all for one thing when there's like a vast territory coming later. So if someone really wants it for 4, I thought they would have to send away a lot of things, and that would make my odds of getting the next thing better. Also, I can now spend my resources on maybe the Colossus, to actually finish that. Because if I actually get the territory, then I would need to, of course, reinforce, and that would mean that I still can't get the strength from the Colossus and the colonization bonus next turn. And oh yeah, that would also mean that I would stay on 5, and Barbusha would be in 5, meaning that I will also lose the foray. So yeah, there were like a lot of reasons why I didn't really want to spend like 4. So I didn't mind this too much. Then this historic territory. This is kind of really impossible to do before all the previous reasons, but even more reason because I don't have the food. The other thing would give me a population, so I can reinforce, but this one doesn't give you population, so I cannot even reinforce, so I would be at a very awkward number. Um, so give it away to Weidenbaum for 1. Which I'm already kind of annoyed that I that there's like 2 territories. I cannot even take any of them while having 2 of these cards and the Colossus as my wonder. And then there's this navigation thing, cartography it's called. And navigation is a tier 2, I guess. Um, and I know that Nostradamus saw me push in 2 territories, so I'm like, oh god, if I don't take this away, then all my vast territory is gonna get stolen. So I was like, oh my god, what do I do about this? Do I take it now? And then I take it, but then I cannot really use my code of laws, which is obviously incredibly strong. So I was like, okay, but I mean, I cannot give up so many things. Like, if I take this engineering genius and I can actually finish this, I get 3 stone, I get an extra action. Just from that, it's like already so much value that it's just not really worth to take the cartography. And then if I only take the code of law here and the engineering genius, that also means that the cartography will be on 2 civil actions. And Lander has only 8 because she only has 1 alchemy. Of course, he can make a little bit more, but yeah, he wants to play his monarchy. Kind of wants to make the swordman at some point. So it will be very difficult for him to make this cartography work for taking it for 2 civil actions as well. So I actually end up not taking the cartography, even though I really wanted to do it for obvious reasons. But yeah, just gave up way too much. And then, maybe, yeah, maybe you don't even win the thing because Barbusha will send away another army, and then then you like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense in the end. But definitely something you really want to take, like the cartography. And I was annoyed that I cannot finish my Colossus. I got 2 more events, so I can push still. Now here's the foray in the bottom. Oh yeah, I was annoyed about that too, because if I see the foray, then I can just finish the Colossus. Everything is great. But because the foray was in the bottom, I couldn't do that. That was, yeah, everything was just very awkward. But I mean, okay, a lot of good things happened, but also a lot of things were very awkward, and a lot of good things happened for them, like not actually taking all the, not being able to take any territory, uh, not being able to take the cartography, not being able to use my Colossus, not being able to use my navigation cards. Definitely, every turn was very awkward. And I also said this after H1. I said this is the most. It's like the hardest H1 that I ever played to navigate. Also, I never take this leader, so I need to get value out of that, and yeah, there was just like a lot of moving parts. So I also said that I might do a video on this. This is my first video ever, by the way. So here we are. Okay, remakes their army and gets more food. Very strong. And like as you can see, the cartography was not even taken, which I was somewhat happy about. So they definitely made the right choice by not taking that, because I can't even take it. Oh, also I didn't mention it, but on Weidenbaum's turn he took Warfare over 2-cost Iron, which I thought was interesting, very interesting. And yeah, the reason was, of course, that he wanted to be able to, I guess, defend and draw cards. Maybe also a little bit because Suez Canal is in the game. I mean, small consideration, maybe, but yeah, probably just to be a little bit stronger because he saw that I have a lot of strength potential coming his way. But if he already had the tactics, maybe it was not needed. I don't know, but I thought it was very interesting at the very least, because it really shows that he really thinks about the state of the game instead of, instead of doing the pattern play, which was nice to see. I feel like a lot of people would just take the iron and be like, yeah, iron. But as you can see, he has the iron in his hand now because I didn't want to take the iron either for 2 because I wanted to do other things, and then no one was able to, or no one could take it because they already had 1, and he was able to take it for 1. So I feel like he also considered that might happen. And that's just, I think that was just beautiful to see, kind of. That was, like, I'm not 100% sure if it was the right move, but I thought it was just a very nice idea, at the very least. So yeah, it takes Gutenberg. This was also interesting because this alchemy is definitely gonna go away, and then this is the last alchemy, and he doesn't have alchemy, so he could get denied. Also, nice strength event again, by the way. Getting a lot of value out of the Caesar. And of course, he can build a lab now, so that's already a nice value. And yeah, I already have alchemy. Use my engineering genius. I make my alchemy, and that's exactly how I like it. Then here, yeah, a lot of things to consider again. Like Da Vinci, I would like to have, but it's kind of expensive. The age is also ending. I'm like, can other people take it with alchemy or not? And like, have to look at all their things. There's also cartography here, when Lander can make it next turn, because he does have 4 science with a breakthrough, so maybe he can go for that. And yeah, probably he can. And at the same time, if I take it and I don't have enough science, I increase my population. I think if I just increased here, then I would be maybe on corruption for one. Is that true? It cannot really be true, can it? Because I already not on corruption now. But I think there was like a few things, because there's obviously two territories, and I want to be able to send away some territory, and there's also some raiders. Uh, so I want to be not the weakest, also, while also sending away, and also not getting owned by Weidenbaum. If I like have 2 guys here, I send away 1 guy, then I can actually get the grass or something, or yeah. I mean, there's just a few things to consider, which makes a lot of sense to make make another guy instead of this upgrade. I was thinking about maybe upgrade instead of making this guy and then take the cartography, then I can make it next turn. But I mean, Lander kind of wants to push because he's gets points for that and he's safe. And I mean, Weidenbaum will probably push because he's strong. And then I want to push on my turn because it's just nice to push on your turn, because yeah, it's nice to get the territory on your turn. Of course, you get the bonus. You are able to know if you need to get more strength again and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I can take the cartography, I can go to 4, but it doesn't even make sense to use it because I think the territory will be out before I can use it. But I decided to actually increase my strength, but I still took the cartography to deny it. I could also take the ignite. Like there was a lot of things. I can take monarchy maybe, but I did end up taking the cartography. It was already a bit late, and then there was also other stuff that I still want to build. But this was definitely a deny pick because I knew that he would probably go for that. And then I really want the vast territory is just such a sick thing, and I have freaking 2 navigation cards I really want to use because they're also eating up hand space, especially after I lose my Caesar. Yeah, moves. Doesn't take away the Leonardo. Also doesn't take away alchemy. I think they were hit by the event that makes you draw a military card, so they only had 3 actions, I believe. So it was kind of harder. But if they take away this alchemy, then suddenly Weidenbaum cannot use their leader. So I didn't really look at what was possible or what was the best move for them. I just saw that that was like a possibility. It was kind of interesting, something to consider on their move. So I was slightly slightly sad that Weidenbaum would get this alchemy, and so we can like you keep using his leader. But of course, it can also be like a scientific method pretty quickly and stuff. So that's also another reason why you could, or like even theaters, right? Or not theaters? Yeah, theaters. Yeah, yeah, theaters. No, theaters are the other thing. Libraries, right? Libraries. So yeah, I guess probably had some good reasons. And then there's also open borders agreement. So yeah, definitely still getting a lot of value for Weidenbaum here. Of course, he takes this, takes the masonry, and then he also takes cultural heritage, probably be able to do some combo with extra bit of culture, science. I mean, can also take like Richland, maybe, I don't know, but he probably has some idea about. I mean, he also needs maybe some happy face. So maybe, yeah, he wants to basically deploy this masonry as soon as possible before doing these, and then maybe he needs the cultural heritage. I'm not really sure if that's true, but I haven't really done the math, so. I just trust them. Basically, if I don't know, I just trust that they're doing the right thing. So yeah, Barbarians gets hit. Weidenbaum gets hit heavily, of course. Because I don't. Yeah, they don't have even a guy here. So yeah, that is pretty nasty. Then vast territory, I just bit my full army and my 3 guys because I'm like, yeah, I need this. Like I also have these things lying around. I want to swap out my Caesar, so I'm gonna need to discard. Honestly, I want to use all of them so that I can just, yeah. Wait, what is it? This is the only thing I haven't had left or what? Hmm? But the annoying thing was Barbusha actually decided to send another army and then add another card. So put in 6, and then or no, even 7, right? Yeah, even 7. So my 2 plus 1 plus 3 cards would be 6, and I needed to send 7 because of this. So I was again pretty annoyed that I had to throw away 2 of these, because that also means that I will not be pretty weak and there's still raiders in the deck. But I honestly forgot about the raiders. I just thought, oh, I'm weak. That's kind of annoying. But I didn't actually. Now I kind of just had my eyes set on this Leonardo. I thought would be very strong, and I didn't actually realize that there's a Saladin, that I can just take the Saladin and go up to 9 after getting this, and then with the tactic again, you get +3. You lose 1 from Caesar, so you get +2, and then another +2 from the Saladin. And then I'm at 9, and I don't get owned by the Raiders. But I do get, of course, an extra action, so I can basically get 1 more yellow card, which is also get two back in a way. So even with the Raiders, you don't lose out on that much, but of course the opponent would lose the thing instead, so you already lose from that. And I don't know if Saladin of Leonardo would be stronger, but definitely about as strong, probably. I don't know. I mean, this 1 science return right away, and probably around, I mean, maybe 3/4 of a stone or something, um, which is about as what I expect from Saladin. I already have the 5th, so if I had 4, then maybe Saladin would have been stronger. But yeah, the thing is, I already know that there's a raider, so then it's already kind of nice. And then there might even be another strength event, and then it's already stronger. So this was probably a mistake. But I honestly just kind of didn't really pay full attention. Yeah. That sometimes you also do it, play some moves when you wake up and stuff like this. But also just make some mistakes sometimes. It's part of the game a little bit. Also building up the habits. Not I don't see everything right away and see like, oh yeah, I need strength. Oh, there's Saladin and this and that. Of course, still learning, but get the trade route agreement, and yeah, of course, this leader is definitely not bad. It's not a huge issue, unless I get like heavily punished by something. But the worst ones are already gone. So Code of Law, always nice. Irrigation, which was interesting because it's very late. But always nice to see actually if someone else takes irrigation late, because that means that maybe they develop it and then they don't want selective breeding, and you can take selective breeding. If they skip the irrigation, then you have more competition. So I was kind of happy to see that. And here's the Raiders. So yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, why did I why did I not take the Saladin? But I was okay. I mean, it's still fine unless I get hit again. Then I would really regret it. I draw 3 cards from Colossus. Dark Ages is here, which probably Weidenbaum put in. I mean, he also loses 0, but I also had a hunch that this was in there. Because, yeah, I felt like, I don't know. I didn't, I just had a feeling that he's also that kind of sneaky guy, that just puts in Dark Ages and then loves to get value out of that. But he was low on science all the time, and we were a little bit higher, but we don't lose that much. But it was annoying. But I was definitely not. I mean, I actually have +4, which is very nice. But I mean, that's why I love science so much. You just never have enough, and you can always use it efficiently. So yeah, gets a little bit of value out of that. But at least it was no strength event, so I don't get punished for not taking Saladin. Also, I just realized if I take Saladin, I would go for the strength. I also would lose out. Because normally you're like, oh yeah, Saladin, then I get a minute or I get an action, which is about the same value as maybe as the 1 science plus a little bit of rock. But if I have to use it for strength, I also lose that value. So now this turn I already get 1 science, and the science will give me some rock, and then I also get a yellow card. So yeah, I do get a lot of things ahead of the Saladin, like already like 4 resources. Well, not exactly 4, but so even with the Raiders going -2, yeah, that was definitely not a huge deal. Maybe it wasn't even a mistake, but probably was. Oh yeah, and then last card was developed territory. Oh yeah, also on my turn I pushed in some bad events because there was just, I mean, there's so much to talk about every turn, and already on an hour. So, but yeah, there was, yeah, H1 was very interesting. But I pushed in some bad events, new deposits, which all my enemies uh, have iron, but I really wanted to push out developed territory because I could do some stuff with it. I wanted to push out fast territory. I wanted to see if I win it. I wanted to use my navigation card, and being first also gives you extra strength, gives you flexibility. So that was also a tough choice. I'm like, oh god, I don't want to give them stone, but this is very good for me to push. So I ended up doing it, and I was hoping that maybe I can get some early call, which is in a row right here, and then maybe I be on time to actually get it out. And I was thinking I can also do my signature 4th mine, and then I also don't only lose 2. And I actually do it here after I already had the rich land. And so I used the 4th mine. I can talk for an hour about the 4th mine, but I will not do it now because it's like freaking the hour already. But yeah, normally I very often do a 4th mine. That's basically why I'm also weak usually, because my military will suffer if I have 1 less dude, 1 less worker. But I get 1 resource every turn instead of that, so pretty efficient. Even if you have to disband it, that's like one thing I will say. Even if you have to disband it after, let's say, like 4 turns or something, because you get owned by some military or something. I mean, you still got +2 from it. It costs an action, but if you didn't have a good action left, then that's usually when I do it. So that's like a bad case where you have to delete it because you lost the population to something. Even then, it's like not even so bad, you know. But +5 science, very nice. Use trade routes. I think no, it's not super interesting. I mean, honestly, every turn I was like confused. Last turn there was also the dramas which I could take, but I took reserves because I don't do drama. But there is a Bach, there is a Gaudi, there is a Shakespeare, and even in H3 there's the girl with the theaters. But I didn't see a good way to make the drama. Yeah, I thought I need to make this call. I need to do a lot of things, and I really don't care about drama. So in the end, I just took the reserves. So we'll see if that end up doing well or not. There's another drama here, which will also be taken. The Republic, which she can develop next turn. Now there's a beautiful call here. And I was kind of worried that Weidenbaum here. This was very annoying turn. Also, I lose by population. Talking about losing population. So that was, yeah, the fourth mine. But here he builds the Great Wall. He still has 3 actions left. And he already went through his resources, and the only yellow card there is the Frugality. He already has the Bread and Circuses, so he doesn't want this. He also doesn't want this. He can take the Journalism for 1 action with the Weidenbaum, with the hero. And then he still has 2 actions left. Architecture is normally nice, but he already has the whatever it's called. So I was kind of worried that maybe he would take Frugality and coal and then journalism, just denying me the coal. So I was like, oh god, that might be the correct choice. But he took navigation. Oh yeah, and he didn't even take the journalism, by the way. He can probably take it next turn, to be honest, maybe. But yeah, he took navigation, so I was like, oh wow, okay, he just seeded a tier 2 event, I think. Not 100% sure, not really paying too close attention, but so I was like, oh, he just put in a tier 2 territory, I guess. Because we already saw like 4H1 territory, so it's not very likely that there are more in there. Maybe he put in one himself, I guess. But yeah, I was like, you probably put in a tier 2 strong territory, because like, why would you take this for 3 when you don't even make science? I mean, he's gonna start making science. Oh right, yeah, you don't take the journalism here because you wanna. Oh no, you already did it probably. I don't know. You probably already did it, right? Yeah, there's no way he didn't. Yeah, upgrade. Oh yeah, he already did the upgrade, right? So anyway, so no journalism. Also for that reason. Um, but yeah, so navigation. I see. Yeah, okay. So then yet, otherwise he would have this, and then if you would take this, then he would even have another action left. So that feels kind of nasty. So then it would be like a 2 action call deny, but yeah, the actions are not very good unless yes some things. But yeah, it's kind of hard to make this navigation set up quickly. Probably needs to do some other stuff. Maybe selective breeding, spread and circuses soon. But you still, yeah, I don't know. I was like, you must have some strong things. And I was very happy that I could take the call. Or to take the call. I can also do develop the coal. And because of the reserves, I can play reserves. And then I can upgrade. I could also play the cartography or the religion. Then I would also score 1 stone and make it, so that could have been a thing, but I don't really need the religion right now. And the cartography I could do if I think he took the navigation for a reason, right? But at the same time, there's also other stuff. There's selective breeding coming right here. Which I guess I can already get with +5. Not really sure, actually. Actually, not really sure what I was thinking. Oh, right, yeah, I also thought there's like cavalrymen. Yeah, I basically thought I wasn't expecting any more H1s, really. Yeah, I mean, how much do you need to get value out of this? Uh, yeah, I thought there might be other things to do, but maybe I could have done it. Yeah, so Crusades, do some culture, I don't really care. Take Harvard College, very strong wonder, building a lot of wonders. Now here, Republic, of course. The wonder has been there for a while. Scientific method, of course. Also takes journalism. Probably didn't have anything better to do. Although, why not just take the urban growth? Yeah, why not take the urban growth, I guess? I don't know. Maybe some Shakespeare, but yeah, I guess that's just maybe the difference between me and her. I don't value that at all. I would definitely take the cavalryman, also baited, by the way. Yeah, I just love to take that, so that would also be an option. But yeah, here comes the deposits that I seeded very early, but now I already get +6. So yeah, it didn't backfire at all. Seeing that in, I got the vast territory from it, and I still got 6. Now, of course, he takes a selective breeding and the 3-cost cannon. Of course, he has the Great Wall, but he already has other stuff too. But maybe he has a tactic, because here you can see why this navigation maybe didn't look like it was doing so much. But again, he didn't really have a good way to spend his actions anyway. But yeah, it's like a breeding. Now there's a cannon here, bread and circuses. And actually, the main thing was actually, yeah, he also wants to get a government going, of course. So putting this navigation seems extremely hard. And now taking the cannon over some other things, maybe signifying as a tactic. I use this beautiful trade routes again. Really putting in actually a lot of work. I'd love to take the cavalryman. I also have a little tactic for it. Now, of course, I will take like a monarchy, which I can play again right away next turn. All right, that was the same for me, right? Yeah, I mean, what am I thinking? Yeah, that's why I didn't play the cartography. Yeah, for me, it's exactly the same as Weidenbaum. I don't have to sign it. Like, I was thinking, oh, I can play the thing right away with the with the selective breeding and stuff. But no, I need the science for the monarchy. That was the whole thing. I need to upgrade my government. That's the priority number one. So yeah, no, of course I should never play that, as I didn't. So yeah, this is often how I play it. This like you see I'm like not lowest, but I'm not high. I'm definitely not high, and I'm just like getting a little bit of nonsense in there to not get completely owned. There's the rebellion finally. Builds Harvard College right away, very strong. And here is the Bach with the drama. So I was like, okay, let's see, right? Because this is something I'd never go for, but I'm very curious to see if it works. I'm trying to speed it up a little bit because we're halfway H2 and it's already 1 hour 20. I don't know how Weidenbaum does it. I feel like I'm actually trying to rush already a bit. I could talk like 3 times as long. But I think this is probably the least interesting part of the game. I just take what here. I lose another population. Weidenbaum had some problems because remember that he was the weakest and he needed to remove a guy. He removed his food, and yeah, that was very big weakness afterwards. And yeah, look at the science 4+4 doesn't have the monarchy. Has like his hand is like full of stuff. He has only 5, and he's already got 4 in his hand. He wants to take the monarchy, of course. Maybe you don't even take this journalism because it's. I mean, it depends what you want to do, but I think you want to play the monarchy, right? So even though this is completely free, you will clog your hand, so you cannot take anything. But I mean, you would have to think about it, I guess. Um, for example, you need to play something before you can, or I guess you take a leader first. Yeah, and so of course, yeah, he has this, but what is not enough value for that? Robespierre, I think, is very interesting because yeah, you can just do the revolution quickly. But he goes for Cook, which aligns with his navigation, maybe wanting to get Suez Canal at some point. But my instinct was okay. I don't know what he seeded, but my instinct was Robespierre and then go into a revolution very quickly because yeah, look at his hand. Like you cannot be stuck on this. And when are you ever gonna go into monarchy? Yeah, and then yeah, maybe in H3 you can do a revolution. It's not super far off. It's not super close either. But yeah, I was thinking James Cook is a bit optimistic. I think he has some troubles. Like his food has been low for a long time, so he doesn't have a lot of guys. He also needs a second guy on this. So his first worker needs to be on this guy, and then his military is starting to fall behind. So he kind of needs to get the cannon out. So it's like this James Cook seemed a little optimistic, but maybe he seeded a lot of colonizations that were very strong or something. So now his hand is full. And he also loses all his strength because he spent his warrior to get his food situation going, which is of course not something you want to do, especially if you have this tactic going. So now he's super weak, and yeah, I mean that's yeah, big problems. Strategic theory or territory is seeded, so maybe seeded by Weidenbaum, but I mean it's not so comfortable to take, even with the cook, and he doesn't even get it. So here you can also see, like, even if there are territories, uh, and yeah, strategic territory doesn't really help him so much if you have to send away a guy. I don't know. But yeah, this was a disgusting 4 yeah, 4 defense cards. Tier 2. Like, it just has to send 1 warrior, but it's only a strategic territory 1, so you know, it's not that insane value, so I didn't mind too much, but it was kind of hilarious. Yeah, I take team SWAT. Kind of have a similar hand as Weidenbaum, funnily enough, actually. He has like this heavy face, and then he has the colonization, the military, and the monarchy, which is exactly what I have. And also 5 actions, and then now my hand is also full. But my science production is way better, and my science storage as well. So I can just go into the monarchy right away. And yeah, I already upgraded 2 of these, but there's a selective breeding here. So I just take that, and I figured I need to upgrade them too. And here is something I really don't like. Not taking these cannons and riflemen. Very uncomfortable for me, because that's usually how I do it. This part is going well, production going up, but I only have a cavalryman so far, and I think these are like, yeah, or these are the last cannons, and then rifleman's also gone. I don't even know what is left. Maybe nothing. Maybe 1 rifleman, but yeah, that was a bit scary because that's very, yeah, again, out of my comfort zone. But at least I get James Watt, and I also already seeded economic progress into the deck. So I was thinking I can also go up to 12 stone to get some nice value. Then there needs to be stronger, getting a little low. I think he wanted to do some other stuff, but he decided to, like, for example, maybe select breeding would be nice to just do an upgrade to get his food, but he felt like he needed to use this. And does anyone else need to select a breeding? I guess not, so he can take it later, but it does delay his food situation by 1 turn. Here, the Suez Canal gets taken and already used, and then they get inhabit territory 2, so it's very strong. Insanely big yellow bank. So yeah, entry production per turn, so doing some really strong stuff. I get Cold War, which is very helpful. And this was very beautiful because last turn, I don't know if you saw it. I mean, it's easy to miss, but I actually adopted the tactic Legion, abandoning fighting band, missing out on 1 draw, but going to 10 and knowing that Lander probably will go to 10, and then I will be one of the 2 strongest. And I was very happy about that, because that's not really you're like, yeah, 1 strength, I don't know, it cost me a draw, that's not very nice. But I got yeah, insanely rewarded. Again, this. Got the Cold War. I'm finally getting his production going, but still on despotism. And here, this was very nasty to see. Or no, not this turn. Yeah, so he did have the fortifications, which makes a lot of sense because he took the tanks for cannons for 3. And yeah, yes, now suddenly goes from like 5 to 18. Breakthrough is of course very needed. I keep making guys. I was thinking maybe I can get away with more um, more production, but uh, yeah, it was a little risky. Needed 2 defend cards, and then they're already used 4 defend cards. So I don't think I can bluff that. If I needed 1, maybe I can bluff it. But yeah, 2 I definitely don't bluff. And also I need this at some point anyway, so. And actually, yeah, I just realized that yeah, I can also copy cavalryman. Oh yeah, basically I thought yeah, but I was thinking if I use 1 cavalryman, and then I would be in range for 1 defend card, and I would expect to not get targeted by Weidenbaum. And then I would just up or get another mine. But I decided to play it safe and delay the mine 1 turn. And I'm also strongest and maybe get some nice events. Cannot really be too bad. And take a lot of nice yellow cards. Not the wave, because I'm strong. And wave is not as not as efficient as I first thought, because you need to play another action to actually play it compared to other things. So yeah, Lander gets the production going. Kind of similar position as last time, where he decided to go for the strength. This time he doesn't go for the strength, being even in a worse position. But does have the castle, so it's kind of hard to attack into anyway. But you can still do it as sort of like a half aggression where he has to disband something. Takes this instantly with yeah, only 3 MA is very important. And takes the rifleman. Increase the strength. Then Weidenbaum plays an aggression, and he just has another 2 navigation cards. So he already used 4, and now he has another 2, and there's only 7 in the game. So I was laughing very loudly when I saw that. I was like, how does that work? Of course, now he would be extremely open for my aggression, but I don't have one. And that's what he played around, which he also mentioned in the chat, and I thought it was pretty nice, because yeah, it's very important to get this. It's kind of what I already wanted to do, maybe, in at least something to think about in the turn before. But maybe at that point he just used 4 of his things, and he would be open for an aggression. I don't really remember, but yeah, it's kind of hard to be open for aggression with the castle, to be honest. But yeah. But yeah, I think that was a very important move to be able to get food out 1 turn quicker, basically. And here, there's like a nice cavalryman for 1, but I already have a cavalryman, so that is not the one that I need. So sadly, I only have a cavalryman, which is maybe the first time ever that I only have 1 military tactic. So I have a very nice eco, but uh, okay, I have a tactic already that works, so if I have some air forces, I can do it, but my science is pretty low. And yeah, I didn't have the same military push as I would normally like, with having the flexibility of using every tactic that I can find. So now in Weidenbaum style, we'll look at how we're looking a little bit. So Lander is definitely running away with the science, with the culture. Also has +7 with the Bach. Um, Yeah, we're a bit behind. I am definitely behind by the most of no production, which is very standard for me. Um, so I'm not too worried about that, but I have a nice production, plus 12, and I also have triple selective breeding. So I have plus 7 there. Only science is a bit low. I would love to have like something like this 7. So Lander is going with the nice culture, but the thing is, he didn't actually make any dramas. He just has this and Bach for plus 2. So he also just has a very good economy. Like having this plus 7, plus 6, plus 4, that is basically 17. And yeah, I have like 23, of course, but I think science is worth a little bit more than like food, for example. So I mean, very, very solid economy, I would say, um, for being in such a lead. Is And also having Hitachi Castle, so I was not really so happy. And he also still needs the government, and then he will get a lot of extra CA. Right now he's a little bit weak, but it's also not that weak. It's like 6-3 is not so bad. And so yeah, also good production, but low science. But we also have low science, and also not bad production, but like no, this is a little low, of course. So I was looking at this and I was like, yeah, my production is good. This is good, but my science is low, and he's actually not so easy to attack, which normally it is easier. And I don't have the military tax to be able to attack him. So I already saw that the military out, which I normally have, um, was just way less potential. So I was pretty scared. So like, how do I catch up? To make culture myself, but having to catch up culture is a lot harder than just winning a war by 40, from my experience. So I was not feeling so great. I was thinking maybe this is the first time I'll get last, which would be not a bad result against amazing players like this. So, if this is the first time I'll get last, maybe not the worst thing ever, but rather would not. So, yes, the tactic, very efficient. So I was already thinking like, yeah, very hard to break through. I thought if he takes the cavalryman, which is something I would do, then he always threatens, yeah, any tactic. So that already makes it like even that much harder. And he doesn't only threaten the tactic. If he gets the tactic, he can just switch to killing people. So I would value this extremely highly. Yeah. So I was kind of surprised he didn't take that. More more pacts. Don't like pacts. Those free pacts, just like in H1, he loses the pact, immediately gets another pact. Like open borders into this. But yeah, this is what it is. Okay, some more strength. Weidenbaum goes for the pro sports. He lost his bread and circuses, but he lost his Pierre. So, of course, pro sports and Pierre completely unbrand, and builds an arena. Dispensed a knight and a warrior, which is of course very sad. And then he builds cannons. So he disbanded a knight just for the fun of it, right? Or did I see that correctly? Units of warriors and a units of knight. Oh, or did he? Right, he made one arena and then he made cannons. So he basically, this turn, he upgraded his knight to a cannon. I mean, that just hurts, right? I mean, it would be nice to send it away or something, especially with the warrior as well, with the cook as well. But I thought he would have seeded a tier 2, but it seems like it's not the case. But yeah, of course, it's very poor, inefficient, like having to disband 2 of your units. So not looking too amazing, but yeah, Weidenbaum, resilient player, always finds a way to get some chances maybe. So never count him out. But he is also, oh yeah, he did a rebellion. Oh, was it this turn actually that he did a rebellion? No, right? No, not this turn. No. Oh, yeah, I guess he did a rebellion before. Yeah, so he ended up needing to rebel, use the rebellion. I didn't really keep track anymore after the one turn where I was like, he has a lot of problems and maybe he needs to take Robespierre. But he did end up using the rebellion without Robespierre, while not having any profit from cooks except for the little bit of culture. So it ended up that he didn't see the colony. It seems like, because otherwise he would keep this guy to send away, I assume. And I don't think this was a colony. Or is it like no, right? No, it must be here, right? Like the last one he seeded when he took the thing and the navigation. I kind of lost track a little bit, but yeah. But yeah, at the same time, if it was really that he seeded one later when he saw the cook, then it's also so delayed that it's also again not really worth it. So yeah, I feel like this cook wasn't so good. Maybe if it was just for the strategic territory, because this is not one. Wanted to talk about this oil thing actually. It was just yeah. So no, this was prosperity. Yeah. I want to go back one. Oh God. What the heck? 2 hours? I mean, 1 hour 40 minutes. What the heck? How do you do it in 1 hour and actually still have? That's crazy. I mean, I don't know how you take 2 hours to explain a game, but at the same time, I also don't know how you don't because I feel like I'm skipping over a lot of things, and I feel like yeah, when I watch Weidenbaum, he does like 1 hour 20, 1 hour, but I feel like he discusses everything still somehow. So yeah, huge props to him. Maybe with some experience I can do it too. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, there was this oil, right? And I was like, okay, this is very annoying. Like this was a very tricky turn, but I was like, okay, there's this oil. I know that Lander still on his Nostradamus saw that I played the oh, actually, if that was Nostradamus, then maybe yeah, maybe he did see it into this one a thing, and maybe it was just maybe the event like didn't go so quickly as he expected or something. But yeah, no, I still think it was a little bit optimistic. But anyway, let's move on from that. I knew I know that it was economic progress because he was Nostradamus. Maybe yeah, he kept Nostradamus pretty long actually. Now that I think about it, but so I was like, if I don't take this oil, which I could maybe still use with Watt, I was kind of scared that Lander would take it and just upgrade, and then you would get like giga value, and it's also very early in H3, so it's just kind of strong anyway. But it's just basically a bit too awkward to make that work, and then my game plan would be like taking tanks or something and just building a ton of tanks, which maybe could work because I have some war here, and but it's like not the best, of course, and also doesn't really work with air force so great, and yeah. In the end, I just decided I think at this time to start for some culture. I did take this patriotism to be able to play this War of Culture with maybe some planes. Maybe I get to double this, and then I get some planes, and then I can play patriotism with a war, make double planes, and I actually get a decent amount of strength. I thought it was definitely a good option to keep open, so take the patriotism over reserves. And he doesn't do the oil. And yeah, it's just very strong. I think that was a good move. I thought maybe there was a chance he would get baited by the movies and just start building movies, but I think that was just good. Does cost a lot of science. But yeah, he does have good science production. And Gaudi also popping off with every single urban building imaginable. Here you go. Take a tank. Freedom of movement, which I thought was a little bit funny because he disbanded his knight, right? And like he disbanded his warrior, and before he also disbanded the warrior to build this. I mean, and now he gets freedom of movement, so and he can't really use it so well. He can upgrade this alchemy to the thing and then get some more points, but there is an air forces here, so maybe it could be nice to. I mean, just getting two science per turn, of course, is not very good. So it's not like this is very nice. Like maybe it's correct, but it's definitely not something you're very happy about. You would be much happier to have a knight and then upgrade it to a guy. So yeah, he's just really been struggling with the food, having to remove his stuff and just keep getting in a worse position. And if we look now, I'm still only at 26. So I'm like 50 points here, and they have plus 11. So I was like, okay, this is not really looking so great. I don't really see exactly what out I have. I can build some operas. I can build like two operas, and then at least I can not let them go get further ahead. But then having to push even more is difficult. But I did have one thing going for me is that their leader's actually very strong, and I don't have a leader yet. So my tier 3 leader will maybe give me maybe 3 culture, maybe even more. So that also is another boost, which they can't really get better than what they already have. Although Bach doesn't have any dramas yet, so that he can get better. But yeah, I was thinking my H3 leader will be very nice. And especially Barbusha cannot really upgrade his leader. So that will be a nice boost at least. But yeah, definitely need to overcome a lot. No, Weidenbaum was a very annoying move and upgrades more cannons and take the Air Force. And so here I was very worried that he might war me next turn. I get the food and the thing. So here I was thinking very long. I couldn't really find a good way to upgrade my strength in a nice way, even if I get double this, I still lose the war, and even if I get like aircraft on top, it costs too many actions to make food and then put the thing in place. Even though I would have 12, I can I think make one plane, but I would also need military actions if I don't. Yeah, I could make them like two now, but yeah, then I would still need to find it, and yeah, it was just very awkward. I also don't know if I, yeah, uh, yeah, basically using all my resources to go into a losing war that might not even happen because he didn't actually draw that many cards yet, and maybe he is afraid of some things, and maybe he wants to build some more. Maybe if there's a revolution theory, I was thinking maybe he wants the air forces, but of course his tech is not very good. So in the end, maybe that was not real, but I set it up in a way that I changed my thing to a cavalryman that I can threaten to have the tactic, um, the shock troops. So the problem is I need the modern infantry, and I was definitely not willing to just take it to threaten this 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 strategy, or I mean, the thing that I didn't even have. Um, yeah, look at my resources. I need to spend them on things. I cannot take this for free. Um, so he can just on his turn deny the modern infantry if he's scared from me having the tactic. So I would pretty much be owned most of the time. If there's air forces, I can go up to a decent amount, but I would still lose. Otherwise, I would lose pretty badly. But yeah, I decided to, yeah, that this doesn't really have much benefit to upgrade much more than this. Now I'm 29, so I'm second strongest, so I will not be weakest so quickly. Um, but more than that, I was not willing to push. Instead, yeah, this was also something I wanted. Like there was a lot of things here I wanted. Like okay, I want this, or maybe the leaders are also nice. The military theory would be nice. Not movies, but yeah, this fast food would be nice, but it also costs two. I have a lot of resources. I kind of want this, but I also maybe want an extra alchemy because my science is low, and yeah, so many options. But in the end, I decided to take fast food and upgrade this because I was gonna invest into something that I couldn't make stronger than just up getting two extra guys most of the time anyway. And here I still have some option with the Air Force. I can still, I think, make two and one Air Force. That's basically what I can, the most I can do anyway. Even if I make more guys, I wouldn't be able to make two Air Forces, I think. And I do draw the tactic, so if I get my hands on the modern infantry, I can actually make decent amount of strength. So Lander, looking very strong. Like right now, he's like a sick production, already up to 10. And then actually he was at 12, but he removed an iron, I think. Um, more science, more points. I mean, food is still very strong, +3. People are holding out for the Red Cross, something I honestly couldn't really do because I don't have the civil actions and I don't have architecture stuff to build quickly. So yeah, I was very happy to just take this. This thing is already very big because I have a lot of guys here. There's already 7, so it's already 14, and it's like 25ish right now. So yeah, I was thinking here, yeah, then there's looking extremely strong. At least I'm +10 now. I still didn't get a leader, so I can definitely catch up a little bit. It's not an insurmountable lead anymore. So it was starting to look somewhat, but of course I was very scared about the war. What's going on? It takes literature, it takes movies. Yeah, it's very nice. 20 resources, blah blah blah. Let's see. I have 5 more minutes to get it in within 2 hours. I wonder if someone will actually watch this thing for 2 hours. Comment below if you hear what I'm saying right now, and I'll be happy. goes for some knights. This sets up very nicely for double Air Force. With a patriotism, you can do war, double Air Force. So it's a very nice threat. Also has the science for it and the resources. Actually, no. Right now he didn't have the resources. I was actually kind of happy to see that because I was like, oh, that's 13. So he actually cannot do it. He could do it with everything else, but not with the food, with the stone. So it wasn't actually that scary. And Weidenbaum does declare the war. So my first reaction when I saw this, I was like, damn, I'm cooked. But then I noticed there's another modern infantry in the row. So he cannot deny both modern infantry, and that means that I can get the tactics off the ground. So let's see if that's enough. He goes up to 52, and I have half of that. Now, my turn. I seeded, which is honestly a pretty big mistake. This is probably the biggest mistake. Because I didn't exactly think about it. I was like, I just see it because that's something good to see. It was impact of the stone thing. I was like, yeah, something good to see, and I can do something maybe next turn. I didn't really think about it too much. Um, yeah, honestly, I didn't really think about it too much. I thought like, okay, I mean, there's always some events, but usually not something that is so incredibly bad in H2, like something like this. I put that in myself, by the way. It's just fine. And honestly, like, I don't know why I was so casual about it. And I will talk about a little bit after you see what happened here. So I lost 3 food, and I can just say like, oh yeah, I just realized everything. But I honestly, I mean, like I said, I did try to set up a little bit for pretending like I have this in hand, but then I had basically the modern infantry out, and if there was the air forces, it would also be at least somewhat decent that I am not completely out of the game. Um, but I didn't actually I didn't actually calculate that I had like that I can throw away like 3 food. I knew I had enough resources here, but I didn't actually really think. So I saw the thing and I was like, oh, thank God I can throw away 3 food and I'm fine. I will just say like I'm super lucky that I got this tactic. Super lucky I got the modern infantry here, and then I got lucky that I didn't get punished by seeding. So this was more luck than skill. But yeah, good players get lucky more often. I did set up for this, and it did end up working out in a way. So I did create some of my own luck, and I got a because I was like, okay, I can try this, but I mean he can probably deny it, but I was like, maybe he doesn't really have the action for it, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He was yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just the best way to set up anyway. I wanted the strength with the 29, and it was just a nice way to set up anyway, so I didn't really lose anything. But I also thought I honestly didn't really think I'd gain much. Okay, sure, exactly. If the modern infantry comes on top, and I mean there is a reasonable chance that it comes there, I guess. And someone that I did notice that they have both this rifleman, so I knew that they wouldn't take it, so it would stay in the row. So in these turns, another infantry can get in there. It's not actually super unlikely, so definitely was the right move, but definitely very lucky to have everything come together. And what happens here is I have swordsman and then cavalryman and then reserves, and I already played the patriotism, and then I play shock troops, and then I play another cavalryman, and I used up all my military actions, including the patriotism that I took for other purposes before, but this was another, yeah, this was a nice use. And we're both on 52. And maybe if you're not new to the game as me, then you instantly spot it. But I was like, ah, it took me a second until I realized, of course. I mean, it didn't take me so long, but I was like, okay, if it's 52-52, how do I increase? I mean, I don't think there's a way. And then I was like, oh, of course there's a way. Frequently Marie Curie with the one alchemy going +1, giving beautiful, yeah, insane win over Weidenbaum instead of I should lose by a good margin. So that's in like I don't know how much I should have lost. I kind of forgot, but maybe like 15 or something. Well, let's say if I would if nothing would have landed, then I would have um, basically two times the army is basically five. 5 times 4 is 20, 36. So that would be like worst case kind of would be 16. I could still take this, so let's say 15. So yeah, it would be 15 in his favor, which would be 20 with the +5. And now it's 6 in my favor, so that's like a 50-point swing between us. Of course, quote unquote, only 26 individually. But yeah, insane. So here I was thinking, okay, well, at least I'm still in the game, and Gandhi gets taken, which in this case, no one actually, the military tree is already gone, so no one can actually get a war on him. I got the refugees, which is another positive, which normally Weidenbaum would get if he was strongest, but now I am strongest for some reason. So I get a population and some more culture. They start taking the wonders. They were waiting on the Red Cross, but they, yeah, just never came. So you have to start taking a wonder. Takes this thing interestingly, but even though the internet was already getting pretty big, like this and this and this and this, and of course for Weidenbaum it would be much better. Does have the United Nations being 20 with 5 different urban buildings, but he didn't seed anything, so he doesn't actually have abundance of good things to put in, and if he does draw one, then he also can just put it in his politics phase. So I, I mean, maybe he really needed the action or something. I don't know, but I thought the internet would be stronger for him, and also it would be way stronger for Weidenbaum. But maybe he was not concerned about Weidenbaum being a little bit far behind and also not having the best production compared to him or her. So, but I thought it was more points. So, not really sure. So what does she do with the last action? Just, yeah, nothing, right? Like just increase. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not really anything either. So, don't really understand that, I guess. Weidenbaum, who's the war? We talked about this for a bit in chat. That he can deny the on a one-on-one civil action, then I would have to pay 3, and then I cannot at least have enough. I don't have enough to also elect Marie Curie, so he would draw. Then he also said maybe I could have played navigation, but that's of course not something that he wanted to do. He didn't really have the luxury to just play navigation when there was a lot of other things that were kind of way more important. Um, but yeah, of course, he was not happy to see this. Um, and then I also get politics of strength. So I mean, insanely big swing just from being the strongest there. He takes the internet. There's an Air Forces here. So I was thinking maybe I can get my war started but I already used my patriotism, so I can't actually make a double Air Force. Um, and by the time I actually have the science, I will only have one turn. So I can only make one Air Force, so it will not really be enough to make something significant. Then I came up with, I think, definitely a very nice move. Maybe it's obvious, maybe it's not, I don't know. But yeah, maybe it's just obvious, I don't know. But this was definitely, I mean, my favorite move was of course winning it by one, but that was not really my own move that much. This was my own move, taking the engineering, because I know that there are still Hollywood and Red Cross in the game. They all both have their uh, wonders, which they also will not be able to finish and then take a new wonder. They don't have enough stone. But I do have enough stone to take engineering. And then my idea was I will finish this next turn and then I will just take another wonder. Basically, it's that simple. I thought engineering and the other things would only let you build 3 stages, and I just learned after this game that the engineering actually builds 4 stages. So yeah, so that's how you can see I'm still new at the game and not knowing every mechanic uh, perfectly. Sometimes I misremember something or something like that. But so I was thinking, oh, I'm very clever. I build 1 stage, so I can build 3 stages next turn and then take the next wonder. So that wasn't actually needed, but okay. Um, but yeah, I did think it was pretty clever because it's not often that you can actually build 2 wonders. There's just a lot of reasons why you cannot. You need to know that you cannot be ward. You need to know that you can actually take the wonder, because even if they cannot finish the second wonder, they can sometimes still just take the wonder away from you. So, and then if you want to be able to make the second wonder, or if you want to make the second wonder but it doesn't work out, then you made a very suboptimal move building the first wonder, or not investing because you need the resources next turn. So yeah, it's not so often that you can pull this off. But I realized that if I do this, even if they're on the back row, I can finish it and take it. And yeah, I just need the engineering for that, and going for the air forces or other things like multimedia, and building some multimedia or something could be enticing, stuff like that. So, but if you see this move, then of course you realize it's the best move by far. Get some impact of competition. Oh yeah, I needed to mention why I shouldn't have seeded when I got ward. Well, there was a couple of reasons. I was weakest, so if I lose my colony, then suddenly vast territory is gone. Is extremely annoying, because also my happy phases will be gone, so I will be don't exactly know what would happen, but nothing good. And the other thing was, if Ravages of Time would hit, then I would lose my Colossus and I would lose 2 strength. And Weidenbaum would lose Pyramids, so he doesn't lose any strength. I would lose Colossus, go -2, and then he would win the war by 1. Anyway, even after all the luck in the world, I could have still sabotaged myself. So there were already 2 reasons, maybe there were even more. But it was just very, very stupid to, because also I used all my military actions, so I didn't even draw any new cards, so I wasn't even able to draw any new impact. So yeah, that was like a massive blunder that didn't get punished. Just keep getting lucky and good things happen. Yeah, here's wealthy territory. 2 cannons get thrown away. Didn't really look too hard if it was worth it. I just knew that I didn't want any part of that. And of course, the air forces were very nice to take because no one can aggress or war me, because I will just easily win against them. But I couldn't war anyone else because I can only build 1. But just by taking it, I know that no one will ever attack me, and I can actually go for the double wonder. So that's another thing, that is opened up the double wonder even more, being completely safe. And there was the Ravage of Time, but it was in the next cycle that Weidenbaum put in later. But here I was like, yeah, if I opened this Colossus, I would never forgiven myself. I would probably just like retire right away, you know, be like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. But at the same time, it's really not embarrassing because you know I'm a new player and you can't really expect me to think about all these different events that are possible in the deck because I don't know them by heart exactly. You know, I like, have a little bit of a feeling for some things, but I don't know that Refuge of Time can be in the deck. Like sort of like, oh yeah, oh, I have Colossus and Refuge of Time. I mean, that's you would really need to take a moment and look at the deck and then be like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that other thing also exists with the vast territory. Um, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, maybe take a little bit more care next time when you're in H2 and you want to seed when you're weakest. But normally I would just like seed because it's like maybe you lose something, but you need to take the event for the points, right? So it was kind of a bit of a pattern play, which is yeah. I remember I actually just woke up and I was super excited to play this move with the Marie Curie and I just put it in. I actually didn't think about that part at all. I was just like, I just put it in. Like, then I realized after doing the move, I was like, I don't even actually draw. I could have get owned by some things. So yeah, it was yeah. Anyway, um, so yeah, no wonders actually got opened in my turn. It's also most likely that they will be opened in other people's turn, but that does mean that I will get the choice. And now we're in H4, and Hollywood is the last card. Weidenbaum does his thing, uses his thing for the aggression and the points. And yeah, here's my impact of industry. And here I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do the engineering, and then I can do 3 steps, and then I was like, oh, I can do 4 steps. I mean, later, but so yeah. I wonder if other people were like, wait, why did you make 1 step? Yeah. So I made this, and now I have a choice because this is the last card. Um, yeah, it doesn't really matter too much anymore at this point, I think. But um, basically, what I ended up doing was I made this religion, and then I made this, so I get +1 point here, and I get +1 point here, and because I do this. I get 2 happy faces and 1 unhappy face that also turned happy. And I seeded in the happy face impact. So that gives me like 8 points. +1 already 10 points. And so if I wanted to take the Hollywood, I could have only finished this and take the Hollywood and then I would finish next turn. But if I do it this way, I take the red cross. I can build still 3 stages from the red cross. And then I have the 1 civil action left, which would actually, yeah, make me able to do this religion thing, and it gives me already 8 points here and 10 points here, and then the red cross, I can make 3, so that is compared to the other 2, I get +12, and there are 7 colonies, so I get another +7, so that's already 19, and this was only something similar, and then you can ask like, oh, but what you now you give Lander Hollywood, but let's look at it, I guess, on his turn. So here, very nice. And of course, I don't have to spend resources next turn as well, so I can just use it to improve my impacts, which I seeded a few, like one of them was competition. So I can just make some guys, which just score me 5 points. So that was definitely massively beneficial for me to take this line instead of the Hollywood, even though the Hollywood was a little bit more points from the Wonder itself, I think. Um, but yeah, then it was like the question, of course, because Lander, it was my main contester, being 20, 125 plus 19, also gonna make a Wonder. These guys also make a Wonder, but they're a little bit lower. And here, like you can see, somehow I'm at 161. Um, so Hollywood was a little bit better for him, but then he has to spend this, and then he cannot make two operas. So then he is again has less happy face, so he loses from that. And all in all, it was definitely more positive for me to take the red cross. Now, if he wants to make a drama, he will have to disband uh, a military, which he did, um, which obviously loses him 2 points from loses him 2 points from the competition. Maybe there's still strength. Maybe there's still urban buildings. So yeah, in the end, this Hollywood was actually not very good for him. As in, of course, it was positive for him to take, but it was definitely not so great as it might look, knowing all the impacts. Missing out on two happy faces, missing out on two here, missing out on operas, which also give, of course, stuff. So yeah. Get the agriculture, which I also seeded. They didn't really have anything that they seeded. Like Lander didn't seed anything. But yeah, then finishes this. But oh wait, oh, it did do the impact of strength, which was also good for me. So actually, pretty happy. I guess that's one you could maybe keep. So that's a nice one to use for that actually. So I guess that maybe explained why she did that. So that makes sense now, because it might be hard to put into the deck, because then I will be stronger, or Weidenbaum gets stronger on my turn. But that's like one that you can win on your turn, I guess. Just like science, you could manipulate more easily compared to something like, yeah, variety or something, right? Which doesn't really change depending on the whose turn it is as much. So yeah, here's the impact of happiness. I got a nice wonder, but I am, yeah, urban buildings. So that's, yeah, another urban buildings. Also missing out on urban buildings because of the taking the wonder. So yeah, just taking the wonder almost didn't benefit him at all, maybe. So yeah, that was definitely why I took the other wonder. Here, just destroy some things just to get a few more points from competition. Well, also keeping the harmony and things a little bit in mind. And I have a pretty nice lead in the end somehow. After the war, I got my culture production. Murray Creek got another +2, and they couldn't really grow. And then, of course, I did a double wonder, which was just massive, and I also put in a lot of impacts. So yeah, in the end, you turn out to be in a pretty sizable lead, and my impact should be quite strong, but you can always get surprised. Yeah, this is my impact again, and then the last impact, the impact of population, which is also extremely strong for me. And Weidenbaum does finish last, but I was honestly still impressed, um, because he was looking very poorly. Uh, like no, like disbanding all his units, having to lead a revolution for his thing, not getting any value out of Cook, not being able to get the Red Cross, even though he had 15 food basically at all times. Yeah, there was like a lot of things. Yeah, and of course, just not getting the war done against me. Which, if he would have gotten the war in like basically the worst case for me, we said something like a 50-point swing, right? Which would still put me ahead of him. I would lose like 25 points or what's it? What did I say? Basically, instead of +6, I would like lose 20 or something, right? So like I don't know. I thought we said something like 26. I thought we said 52. So if I would lose 26, I would actually tie, but it's not 26 because I would also lose out on all the events afterwards, which were also strength events. So then I would definitely not be first, and I would be maybe, yeah, who knows exactly, like those 26 and this and that. But yeah, if he goes to, yeah, 25 was 270, and I would. No, and he would get the strength defense. So he honestly, he probably would have won, and I would have been last. Maybe I don't know. Like it was very close. Um, if that would have happened, of course, I could still maybe get Air Force, or maybe in the bad case, I can also two armies, and maybe I could have made a few more knights or something to push a little bit of strength somewhere. But yeah, definitely that was very impactful. But I played, except for being lucky there, I think I played a nice overall game with going for a double wonder and trying to manage the early game in H1 with very difficult decisions. I think I did a pretty reasonable job there. And yeah, of course, I'll take the win. Very cool to go up against these strong players and yeah, take away the win. But yeah, let's finish it up here. Frequently 2 hour 22 and 22 minutes and 22 seconds. And then hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and try to be quicker next time. Yeah, bye bye.